Christina from Hoopla.
And I'm Megan from Southern Branding. And today, this is the last, the part four of our series where we're having suppliers join us. And today we have Molly from Maple Ridge Farms joining us. And we're super excited about that because we've not showcased a supplier that offers food and at such an high level with customization, and everything includes your logo. Like, this is not your ordering online with the Harry and David's catalog, that kind of thing. This is so much better. So I'm excited to talk about this because we've been fans of Maple Ridge for a very long time. And so I'm excited to share it. So thank you for being here, Molly.
Thank you so much for having us. We're excited to be here with you guys. We love partnering with all of our distributors and really getting to share what we like to call, food gift love. It is what it is. So yeah, I've been here with Maple Ridge Farm since 2008, but as a company, we've been around for 42 years. So and all we do is food. All we do is food. That is our specialty. We are the foodie expert, so to speak. And within that 42 years, we have like 160 years combined experience here at Maple Ridge. Again, so there's so much value behind that. And we love getting to share our love for gourmet gifts with all of you guys.
Okay, but I want to ask about that. Just kind of sparked this for me when you were talking about, all of the combined experience with that. But in addition to that being your value as a company, you guys do so much, and you have core values and beliefs that you do work in the community, you're doing volunteer things, you're giving back with charitable causes. So we kind of talk about that because I think that that's so important, and we want to work with suppliers that are doing that, and that's important for us. So
for sure.
Yeah,
we give back, and social impact is a huge part of our company culture. As much as we love all of the foodie aspect of it, and we're those people that when they go out to restaurants are taking pictures of food and putting it on Instagram and social and all that. But beyond that, our culture here at Maple Ridge is really ingrained with as much give back as we can do, whether that is just social impact side of it, where we try to reduce, recycle, reuse, keep our sustainability efforts as strong as they can possibly be, as least carbon, footprints and impact that we can have. We have wood gifts that are sustainable bamboo. We have wooden crates where the wood is Rainforest Alliance certified. So all of that is super important to us. We have very strong, like you talked about, volunteer aspects. Within our company, even as employees, we're allowed to do a certain amount of volunteer work on the clock every year, whether that be for any of our interests. And the company tends to back the ones that they see their employees doing as well. We do a lot with United Way. We had our big campaign last week, actually, where we had different events every day of the week, whether it be gelato carts coming in or caramel apples being sold and all this stuff. And as a company, within a 1 week time frame, we raised over $8,000 for the local United Way just within that week. And then we also have our give back section of items within our line. We have a specific set of products within the Maple Ridge line where 15% of the proceeds goes to Habitat for Humanity. So that's one that's very near and dear to a lot of our employees' hearts around here. So we love being able to give back that way as well. So whether it be volunteerism or eco-responsibility, we have products and work that we do with promo cares as well. For those of you who are familiar with promo cares, it's a huge part of who we are at Maple Ridge Farms.
I love that. And I didn't realize, I guess last year was the first that I saw the 15% back for the Habitat for Humanity. So that was great. I love to point that out when clients are also asking for things like that. But talk about, okay, so you're foodies, yes, but it's so much more than just food, because what I love about Maple Ridge is that anything that we're doing with you, it's also a leave behind piece. And so that's how we explain it to our clients. Like, this is what separates it. So, we love your hams and turkeys, and the summer sausage and all of the cheeses are so amazing. And the way that we talk about it is, you're going to have this delivered and everybody does, we're in Arkansas, so we have Petty Jean who, we love Petty Jean, but you order a Petty Jean ham and that's what it is. There's no leave behind. There's nothing else that's promoting your brand, your message. So with you, it's you open the box and the first thing that you're going to see is a cutting board that has your logo laser engraved on it. And that's your leave behind piece. So even after the food is, it's come and gone and has been enjoyed and you've had memories, like you still have a leave behind piece, which is such an important selling point, I think.
Yeah, we have a large selection of our line that does incorporate those leave behinds. We look at it this way. It's something we've always kind of tried to throw out there as a reminder. Gourmet gifts like this is the only marketing promo out there that hits all five senses. So you're really getting all of that. And when you have a really great product and really great food, you're going to have those memories long after it's been consumed. When you look at all of the big events in your lives, whether it's holidays, graduations, anytime you're really celebrating a big event, chances are there's probably food involved there. So I think that's why it's only getting stronger for us. But like you said, we have a large portion, whether it be the cutting boards, which are great, the different crates, the wooden boxes, pencil cups. We really want to be able to have those options. So you have that great memento to leave behind. And I love that you started with the cutting boards because cheese and sausage gifts, we're a Wisconsin company. They've always been in our top 10, right? However, last year in 2020, we sold 3 times as many cheese and sausage gifts than we did in 2019.
Wow.
Because charcuterie is everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't look on social or in magazines or on TV without seeing, that charcuterie and that whole experience of it that you get to have at home or, in an office with those kind of gifts. So those are still super, super hot right now.
You're right that it is an experience.
So I have a couple of comments and questions. One is I was an executive assistant for a really long time. So I remember always during the holidays, the food gifts coming in and kind of sharing them with the office. And that was always really great. But I barely remember who sent them after I read the card and kind of just put them out. So I think that leave behind piece is really crucial to kind of get that recognition of sending something. But as you were talking about the office and people sharing items and me remembering doing that back in my corporate days, how are you guys, transitioning with offices not really being open? Are you doing smaller sets that you can kind of send to people's homes? And then what is the shelf life and how do you guys handle drop shipping?
So those are all amazing questions. We have over the years, we've always handled individual drop shipping. So last year, of course, with a lot of people working remote, we did see an increase in that where we weren't necessarily sending things to offices. They were going more to individuals at home. And we do have everything from smaller bamboo boards, ones that are about half of the size of the one that Megan had, all the way up to really large ones. So we did see a lot more maybe scaling down because they were sending individually to multiple recipients. We have solutions for all of that. We are seeing a trend kind of go back the other way as offices have reopened to some extent. I think we're never going to get back to a fully thing. I think we're going to be at that hybrid stage for quite a while. But we do have gifts that, again, could be shared at an office. And with that in mind, we also have a large number that have all individually wrapped components. So if, let's say, you're looking at a gift basket or a gift tower in lieu of a charcuterie gift or cutting board gift, we do have options available where everything in that gift is going to be individually wrapped if that's a concern for, the buyers who want to send to an office to be easily shared across a large number of people. But yeah, like you mentioned, individual drop shipping, it's something we've handled for 40 some years.
These this year too. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fantastic. And they are
hold
so
that
hot.
up. Hold that up, Megan.
For the tubes, and what is it? It comes with a couple of different things in it. You get 2 things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab one here too. So
Sweet.
our cylinders are new for us this year. We launched them in the spring. They are so great because most options have 2 fills in them. So whether it be 2 different kinds of cookies, nuts, and chocolates, we have, I think there's like 8 to 10 different stock options right now. Plus they can be customized. What's great about the cylinders is that if you are individually drop shipping them, they're shrink wrapped, and this is the mailer. You can send it just like this. It's going to help lessen your maybe freight issues because it can go US mail when it's shrink wrapped just like this.
And how do you do drop shipping if, let's say, like a client wanted to order 100 of those and send them to 100 people? How would that work with you guys doing that? Because, you know, a lot of people don't know how to ship things and it's a big headache. So, you know, it's frantic during the holidays. So how would you guys handle that? And what are the charges associated?
No problem. Like I said, we do it all the time, and we really like when you leave it to us because our team of experts here really watches those orders from beginning to end, from the time it hits our building to the time it goes out the door, to check shipping and weather and all of that. To individually drop ship, it's $4 for each location plus the cost of freight. We have a pre-formatted spreadsheet that makes it super easy to compile those addresses, and you would simply send us that list when you send us the order. Our team will review it. If there's any questions, anything looks like we may need to check on something, our team is going to reach out really quickly and say, oh, look, we have this, or we have that, or, you know, maybe you want to ship it on a third party UPS or FedEx number, but there's a PO box on there. Our team's going to catch all that and say, guess what? We may need a physical address for this one. Or do you want the single piece to ship USPS? You know, yeah, we've handled every situation you could possibly think of with drop shipping, and our team is fantastic at it. We have a 99.9% on-time delivery rate.
Wow.
So
they'll even like coordinate. So you're shipping across the country. So things are delivering on, well, you know, in maybe more normal times, the same day in theory. So, I mean, so you make it easy, which is great for us because then we get to make it easy for our clients too.
That's our whole stance is we want to do the heavy lifting. Let us do all the work. Our team knows how to do it very effectively. We can make it easy for you. And then in turn, you can make it really easy for your customer. The whole point is to enjoy the holidays, right? So let's get it all taken care of, take all the pressure off your plates, and you can sit back and enjoy.
So Molly, most of our viewers that watch this show are our clients versus, you know, other people in the industry. And so what would you say is the cutoff date to get things in by the holidays for you guys? And then do you want to talk about, are you running out of stock of things or is everything still in stock? And what deep inventory items are you really loving for us to show the clients right now for holidays?
All super great questions. We love when people ask us when's the cutoff date because we really don't have one. We have been very, very fortunate on a few things that a lot of the industry may be seeing right now. One of which is production time. We have not had to extend our production time at all. We are on our standard production time, which is 5 working days for orders to one location, 7 to 10 if they're individually drop shipping. So that time will begin once we get everything though. So their order, their artwork, any art proofs that they may be requesting, and then the shipping list. Once we have everything, the clock starts ticking down. So 5 days before it would ship. So we really see orders come in right through mid-December. And depending on how you want them to ship and your ship method and where they're going, there's still time. With that said, the big elephant for everybody, even in and out of the industry, is inventory, right? We had a really fantastic year last year. We don't say that to brag. We say that because we know food's hot. We want to bring everybody along for the fun. But knowing that and seeing where it was trending, we really got super smart. We ordered about 30 to 40% more of our hardline goods than we would have, so that we're planning and forecasting through, you know, early spring already.
Great.
Food wise, we work really close with a lot of really trusted chocolatiers and vendors for us. And we already have that scheduled out again through spring, where we get fresh food in on a very regular turnaround basis very quickly. It's all relatively local to our area so that we can turn it over very quickly. So we're really not expecting any inventory issues. We're pretty happy with where everything's sitting. That said, Christina asked about deep inventory. Of course, we have items that we're a little bit heavier in, that we projected a little bit heavier for. Charcuterie, any of those big, gorgeous bamboo boards that Megan held up earlier, we are really good on.
This is my favorite. my favorite one that you
The new acacias.
Look how beautiful that is.
Right. I love the new
Like that.
acacias. I wish I had one open in here and I don't.
Yeah, it's so pretty. So pretty.
So yeah, charcuterie stuff we plan to be very heavy with. That being said too, I mean, nothing's ever 100% certain, right? You get something that really blows everything out of the water, but our team is so good and I love being able to be a part of it. Whereas, for instance, last year we did have, it was kind of an explosion, especially with those bamboo boards. So when we thought we may run short, we worked with our vendor and got one in that was a half an inch shorter, but a half an inch taller. So we had a solution there right away, ready to go, so that it never impacted the buyers in the long run. So that will be our plan of attack again, this year. Charcuterie stuff is super, super hot. Towers are still really good.
Talk about, and I don't have any of that, but some of the desk pieces.
Yeah, I have a couple with me
Great
actually. So one of the most popular ones is our white candy dish. So it gets pad printed on the back, and then across the front, it's going to say treat, eat, repeat. And we have it with a bunch of different fills. So this would be Jelly Belly jelly beans, which everybody loves, right? Chocolate almonds, cashews, the English butter toffee, again,
So
probably one of our biggest sellers.
Yep.
We have that. We have wooden pencil cups and note holders. We also have our acacia tray.
I love that one. Yeah.
So this one's going to say sweet and salty in it, and then it gets pad printed on the bottom with their logo. So it's a subtle logo placement. But then we have it with either cashews and jelly beans or cashews and chocolate almonds. And again, any of that can be customized. That's something I can't stress enough as well, is that a good chunk, I think it's about 25% of what leaves our building is custom. So whether it's something like, let's see here. I love this tower, but I need a different color ribbon or a different box. Let us know. We can change a ribbon color, an imprint color, a box color. Or I love that particular charcuterie board, but I really want the toffee instead of the cashews that may be on it. Work with you guys. You guys could give us a call after your customers reach out with those, requests. If you don't see it, simply ask. We do so much custom work. It's so much fun to get creative with the gifts as well.
Expanding on the custom work a little bit. So you guys just also started, right? Offering, being able to kit other things. So maybe we're adding a drinkware piece from, we're buying that separately, sending it, and then you guys are kitting it all and sending it out together.
Right. And that's something we've actually done for decades. We just didn't call it kitting.
Never knew that.
The new hot word, right?
Yeah.
We've done it as part of our customization process for longer than I've been here. And I actually have a super fun one that, ironically enough, we just wrote a blog on. That we did at the end of the last holiday season, called A Few of My Favorite Things. So what it was is they sent us a Bluetooth speaker that you guys would have sourced, some little favorite things note cards, and then a holiday sweater ornament, like an ugly sweater.
How cute.
And what was great is they took the gift box and customized the pattern on the wrap to match that same sweater.
Did you guys do the gift box or?
Yep, this is our box, and we have a full color wrap available.
Oh, wow.
Where it's completely custom. So they designed the artwork with that ugly sweater, which I actually think is adorable.
So cute.
Did the ornament to match it, and then did the speaker, and then we packed it with peppermint bark and toffee. And what was super great, this is one we recreated for show, so it's got our logo on it, but there's a QR code on the little holiday card with a Spotify holiday list. That kind of tied everything together.
Love it.
Did you guys print the cards in-house as well?
Those cards were provided to us.
Okay.
That's one thing. Like, we do offer card services, but if you have something specific, you can always send them to us. And if they're identical, we'll insert them at no charge.
And so for the Bluetooth speaker, do you charge for adding that, or how does that work?
This is a completely custom gift. So what we would have you guys do is you would reach out to us, say, this is what we want to send you. This is the Maple Ridge product we want, and this is our final look and quantity, price point, all of that. And we'll create a custom gift. We don't necessarily have flat rate because we really like to look at each project for its own parameters. That way there's nothing above and beyond that doesn't need to be included in that price. We're really going to price it based on that project.
So I have another question, and this is kind of veering away from holidays and more about 2022. Is, I think a lot of people, at least me, and I'm very new to the business. I've owned my business for 2 years and been in the industry for 3 years. They think of food gifts as mainly for Christmas. So what are some other holidays throughout the year, or events, or reasons why we should be pushing Maple Ridge throughout the year so that we can do that with our clients and they can kind of think outside the box?
Right. We think of food gifts here at Maple Ridge, and obviously it's our business, but we think of it as a 365 experience, right? I'll be honest, when all of this crazy pandemic stuff hit, and it hit early in the year, right? February, March, we're like, okay, most of our off season or non-holiday stuff was events, and all these events were canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened is we saw the things that we've been talking about for years finally start to really become more well known, which is event gifts. So we see a lot of table favors, hotel drops. We have seen a ton of gifts for virtual events.
Let's talk about that, because that's exact. When you first started talking, right, that's where my mind went right away, because I know a lot of people, and I've done a lot of projects that want virtual event gift boxes, delivered by a certain date so people can open them, right, for the virtual event. So can you talk about maybe one of your favorite projects that you kind of worked on for a virtual event so we can understand start to finish how that worked?
Oh, for sure. I can actually talk about two, because one of them is a little more holiday because it was more fall. I had the pleasure of working on a fantastic project last year where it was for a national insurance company that does an in-person destination event, usually once a year, right? They bring in all their reps from all over the country to this destination, about 150 people for this meeting. They obviously couldn't do it last year. So they decided, since it was going to be essentially like 2 or 3 days of Zoom meetings, they wanted their attendees to be comfortable. So they really embraced comfort, which with food, hello, comfort and joy, it works really well, right? So they sent us, and it was definitely an experience, and I loved it. They sent us flannel lounge pants and a shirt that we size matched to the recipients then.
Wow.
They sent us everything you would get at those kind of events. They got a journal and the pens. They also sent a tumbler and a DoorDash gift card so that they could order whatever food they wanted. And then we packed it with our coffee, our chocolates, our snack mixes, because the whole thing was for them to really embrace the comfort of, sitting in on these meetings from home.
And did you do a custom box?
We did our shippers, but then what we did is there was a custom label that we can put on the outside. It's like a 4x6 label that said, please wait to enjoy this when when we sit down together on October 24th or whatever it was. And it was all like fall themed and all of that. So there was a message on the outside that said, this is what this is for. Be sure to save it. Don't dig into it too early, kind of thing. And then inside was also a pack of like all of their meeting information, all of the contact information for everybody and all of that. It went over so well that their board of directors then, for their big head honcho meeting, so to speak, about a month later, did it again, but they swapped out the pajamas for like a vest and a polo shirt.
Yeah.
So we've also seen virtual award ceremonies. That's kind of the same thing, like another virtual event where again, we packed big cheese and sausage with nuts and everything else. But again, we put that label on the outside that says, please wait to enjoy when you join us on April 14th for our virtual ceremony. And then there was literature and stuff included in that package as well. So although a lot of things shifted virtual and, people were so concerned industry-wise, I think maybe about where are these budgets going to be spent and all this, it all just shifted. They really wanted their attendees to still have that in-person experience, even though they were at home.
Yeah.
So food works really, really well for that.
So I love this because, our clients come to us because of ideas like this, right? This is the only way that we can differentiate ourselves from any online source or any competitor is this creative kind of advantage like this. So I love being able to work with, suppliers like this that have case studies for us and have great examples of getting creative. And, even something like this that just says sweet treats for when we meet.
I have one more really great
Yeah.
history for a non-holiday gift that kind of revolves around these. So a colleague of mine and I were at a show right after they launched, within a couple weeks of the launch. And we were sitting down with our customer and they're like, this is great. I have the perfect idea for it. He's like, I have a big in-person event coming up, my first one back, and they want table favors. This would be great. So what they did, and we had the order before we even got back into our offices, they took this wrap, had their fill in it, but then on the label and the imprinted, and I wish I had one with me, it had a list of all the speakers. It had the schedule of all the events, and then it had an awesome little QR code that says, here's what else you can, find in the area. Because we all know QR codes are coming back.
I love QR codes.
Yeah.
I have to say, the QR code, when it first came out, your camera didn't automatically grab it. You'd have to download an app. It was very confusing. So it never caught on. And then when COVID hit and people didn't want to do the menus, if you're going out to eat, I think that's when and your phone also could just scan it. But I wanted to say a couple things that you were talking about, and Megan was talking about is, I know a couple companies that use, and I don't want to call out, but we know, there's some online, that have very cheap prices, but you don't ever deal with someone. You're just putting in your artwork. Hopefully you're doing it right. Hopefully it's going to turn out right, whatever. And they're not solutions partners. And everything that you've demonstrated during our call today, Molly, is all about being a solutions partner, getting creative, and going above and beyond. And so I really want to call that out when, companies think, oh, but I can get it cheaper by just going online. You could never create these experiences Molly's talking about, these case studies,
by going on. Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Great point.
Yeah, we work really hard to maintain a relationship that's a partnership with our distributors so that we can really serve the end customers, your buyers, to the highest level. There's always the option of, we hear all the time, how do I compete, or what's the advantages over companies that are like the online services or some of the big box stores? Well, you can go into some of those big box stores now and see baskets and towers. So what does that mean? That means those things were probably packed 2 months ago. Yeah. And that stuff is sitting. So our stuff is always going to be packed fresh right before it leaves. That's number one. So freshness is always key, because the higher quality, the fresher the gift, the better the experience for the end recipient, right? We're an FDA regulated facility, so that's like the gold standard when it comes to food. So like when you offer all that, and then, your customers and your buyers get to work with you guys, and you guys get to partner with us, and we can really deliver way past the finish line. Like that's always the goal. Is to make it as easy for them and make it just a great experience for not only the buyer, but the recipient.
And I want to say, as like a mom of two younger, children, and then, I got my husband, I actually love getting food gifts because I can share them with my family and they get really excited about trying everything. But I really love that you guys always offer that branded piece to leave behind. So it's still something that I can keep, or if it's like a cutting board, I'd be using it every day cooking dinner. So I think that's really makes you guys stand out from the Harry and David and all those other companies.
Yeah, I have to share a really cute, quick, short story. My dad, back when he was working, back in the day when I was younger, worked for a company that made like heavy machinery, right? So he traveled all over the country fixing all this heavy machinery. And he was recently, this summer, was cleaning out an old cabinet in our basement. And he found this wooden box and he brought it upstairs. He's like, oh, I'm going to give this to, who's going to give it to my sister? Because somebody she knows in another part of the state happened to have worked with him back in the day, right? And inside this box was a lot of mementos from where they were working. And I came in the door and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a Maple Ridge box. It was a wood box, one that we had, it's from like 1990. One that we had carried back in the day, and it had the wood branded logo on it, had the year branded with the logo. We always have stock art that changes every year for some of our wood products. And I'm like, this was decades before I ever started working here. He still had this box. And then you open it up and it had patches and belt, it had more promo on it, essentially, patches and belt buckles and all that. That wood box is now in my office because that's 30 years later.
Love it.
And that has stuck around, So, when Christina talks about having the option to have that leave behind, you never know where it's going to pop back up again. They are utilitarian items to a certain degree and can easily be used and bring that memory forward. As soon as I mentioned it, he's like, oh, I remember exactly when I got that. And I remember what was in it. He's like, I may have forgotten I still had it, but seeing it again brought back all those memories. So super fun.
Absolutely. Well, and it's value. I mean, you're not going to like, I'm not gonna throw this away. Like this is a nice, but you know how much these wood slide boxes are? You try to buy, like, that's a nice piece. You're not gonna get rid of that.
Right. And I love that one. That's our very first item back in, 42 years ago, was that wood box with cheese in it. So it obviously has withstood the test of time and is still in the top 5 sellers every year.
Perfect.
So I think we usually try to keep the show around 30 minutes or less, because we've noticed people do not have high attention spans. I usually try to end the shows, but Megan's been taking over because I haven't been doing a good job. I try to end the shows with like a personal question. And so my personal question for today is, what is your favorite holiday song? And you can say why, or you could just say what the song is.
Oh, I'm going to have to go back and not necessarily date myself, but we all talk about like favorite holiday movies and everything too. And my favorite songs probably from those movies. I love The Year Without Santa Claus with like the Heat Miser and the Freeze Miser. So those are my favorites. Like the whole I'm Mr. Green Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow, whatever those songs are from that one. We do so much. Our Christmas lists in our family and at work vary. Like it can really change. It could be country one day and it could be something else another day. So, but I'd have to go back to like the old school songs out of the kid movies are still my favorite.
That's great. Megan?
The answer? Okay. Yeah. I think when I'm just traditional Christmas, like
whatever you want, it can be whatever.
So for me, like the first thing I think is like traditional Christmas, and I'm going to go Silent Night. Like that is the one that always just kind of brings it, just that warm kind of feeling. But then like if I'm just putting on like a Christmas playlist, it's either going to be like a Christmas rock playlist, or I'm going to go like Harry Connick Jr. Christmas.
Yeah.
Harry Connick is classic.
Like him.
Yeah.
Well, do you like the Michael Bublé Christmas?
I mean, I like a Michael Bublé. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Me, I guess this will show like my personality. I'm not very Christmassy, I guess. I really love Last Christmas by Wham.
That's classic though too.
Yeah, that's my Christmas song. And then I guess I'm a pop girl. And so I like Taylor Swift's Christmas album.
Okay. I can get with that.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun. And I love all the stories that you shared, Molly. Like it really, that was awesome. And I love now, like there's a connection there too. And I know like Christina is super excited to be able to work with you as well. So thank you for taking the time and doing this. And we've really enjoyed it.
No, I'm happy to do it. The only thing I can really say is, reach out, as your customers, reach out to Megan and Christina and let us get really creative and wow the recipients. That's what we're here for. Okay.
And everybody heard it, like food gifts. This is what we have time for now. This is where we are. Bunch of food gifts coming in. Let's do it.
Well, thank you. And, we really appreciate it. And we'll tag Maple Ridge in our post when we post the videos.
Sounds good. I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Bye, Molly.
Bye.